My name is Don. I see you. Welcome back to another video, another reaction video. Today we're throwing in some wrestling content. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. Let me make sure it's actually Thursday. It is Thursday, August 21st. Alright, today we're going to be reacting to something from Wrestling Premiere, a channel I watch ever so often. Okay? We were watching the captivating feud between Jeff Hardy and CM Punk. I was born in 04. This feud was probably peak like 2009, which means I was 5. This is one of the most memorable feuds I have of WWE. And you know they be saying Jeff Hardy was bigger than Obama back in 2008. I was Jeff Hardy's biggest fan. I admit it. I still like Jeff Hardy. No, you see the writing on the walls. You're in way over your head. Time's coming, gone for the worst. 1,000 threats I've heard before. I think you guys get the point. CM Punk was arch nemesis number 1. When CM Punk beat Jeff Hardy in that steel cage match, 5-year-old me was tight. I probably cried. My hero, Jeff Hardy, is leaving the WWE. And now we have to relive that pain. Let's get into it.
What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Now, this one was quite unique. Why? Well, it's obviously about the title, but it was mostly about one guy who was drug-free, alcohol-free, facing a guy who had his demons, a guy who lives in the moment. That's one of the reasons why this...
You just heard him say, drug-free against Jeff Hardy, who was druggy. They made perfect TV. That whole CM Punk straight edge. I'm not even gonna say too much.
Held in high regard. In this video, I cover the personal feud between the straight edge savior CM Punk and the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy. Now, as you guys know, this feud started over the Money in the Bank briefcase. So right now, we're gonna go back to a time period where CM Punk was still in the mid-card scene. Now, before I start this video, I just have to ask, which WrestleMania do you want me to cover first? I'm gonna start doing these in the coming days since there's so many. So whatever WrestleMania gets the most likes is the one I'm...
WrestleMania 25 is my all-time favorite WrestleMania. You have Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy, Undertaker versus Shawn, John Cena versus Big Show versus Edge. You had Triple H was on that card too. 99% sure it was Triple H versus Randy Orton, or that was a year prior. Poor K. Don't quote me.
I'm gonna do probably next week. You could vote for any WrestleMania you want. WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 21, whatever one you want. It's simple as that. I don't care if it's 27 I ever made, because it was so detailed. I had to cover every promo these two had, because...
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
The video hasn't even started yet.
Base 44, a complete AI.
Even if I just left out just one, it would have probably destroyed the whole video. That's what I felt like. Anyways, this is probably my favorite video up to this point, because I just loved it.
That is great news to hear. Wrestling Premiere, he is very knowledgeable. He goes in depth with what he covers, so I'm glad to be reacting to it.
Making it. Right now, let's go and talk about the CM Punk and Jeff Hardy feud. CM Punk at WrestleMania captured the Money in the Bank briefcase for a second time. His first run with the world title was overshadowed by...
Facts. Those back-to-back Money in the Bank runs for CM Punk, they were special. Going back and forth, 24, 25. Those matches were good too. 24 had like Shelton Benjamin, MVP, Carlito. 25 had probably John Morrison, Shelton Benjamin. CM Punk won. I think Chris Jericho was even in one of them. And they gave CM Punk the rub.
The guys on Raw, like, he wasn't the focal point of the show despite being champ. I'd say he was the number 5 guy on the show at that time, behind the likes of John Cena, Batista, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho. After losing the title, Punk fell back to the mid-card scene where he won the Intercontinental Championship. He held the title for about 2 months before JBL ended up winning the title. So, you get where Punk was at this point.
JBL, Bradshaw Layfield, Wall Street JBL, 2009, 2008 JBL, he was different.
Jeff Hardy, meanwhile, was arguably the top guy behind John Cena. Arguable, because there was Triple H. He might have been the number 2 guy. It depends on what you think. Personally, I think Jeff Hardy was the second top guy. Now, he was in midst a feud with Matt Hardy that ended with Jeff on top. Following that, the charismatic Enigma reignited his feud with Edge. This time, though, it was for the World Heavyweight Championship.
This is like my favorite era of WWE, and the video is not even that far yet. I'm gonna stop pausing, I promise. But there's a ton of shit I could react to from this era of WWE. So if you want that, just let me know. All of these feuds, perfect.
The two faced off at Judgment Day, and Edge ended up retaining the title after Matt Hardy interfered. This led to a ladder match between Jeff and Edge at Extreme Rules. That match delivered. It had some crazy spots like Edge giving Hardy a sharpshooter on a ladder, the whisper in the wind from the top of the ladder, both men falling off a ladder onto another ladder, Hardy delivering a twist of fate to Edge in midair. Man, so much stuff, so many spots were packed into that match, and that ending was so sweet. Edge was stuck in between the rungs of the ladder, and he was forced to watch Hardy unhook the title. It felt like Edge got his comeuppance. He was constantly putting Hardy down, telling him that he gets opportunity after opportunity, and he squanders it. This time though, Hardy actually capitalized on the opportunity. Simply put, this was an enjoyable match. It felt like the end of a storied feud. I mean, the promo of the match emphasizes that. Hardy and Edge rose up the ranks together, and on that night, the ladder match brought closure to a historic rivalry. Right after the match, JR came out to the ring to interview Hardy. As he was about to ask Jeff something, CM Punk's music played, and out came the straight edge savior with the money in the...
Mind you, CM Punk had a match with Umaga this night. It was a strap match too. I fuck with Umaga. Dude. But he went through hell, and now you're coming to cash in against Jeff Hardy? Jeff Hardy, the charismatic Enigma. Mr. No, you see the writing on the wall. Don't get me tight.
And briefcase and a ref in tow. So Hardy was set to defend his newly won title against CM Punk. Right when the bell rang, Hardy could barely stand up, yet he tried to fight anyways. Punk hoisted Jeff onto his shoulders, and he hit that GTS. 1, 2, Hardy kicked out. Look at Punk. He was in total disbelief. He's like, I cashed in this thing and I might not even win it. He was completely shook. Once Punk grabbed Jeff again, Hardy rolled him up and he nearly retained the title, but Punk bounced back with a kick and a second GTS to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. He was a 2-time champ. They were giving him a second run with the title despite the first one failing. I mean, it wasn't his fault, but it's weird to me how they actually gave him a second chance. They didn't usually give guys that. Maybe it's because they were testing.
Just give me one more chance. Just give me one more chance.
Him out as a heel, probably. I'm assuming that's why. Anyways, on that week's SmackDown, CM Punk came out to the ring. He wasn't a heel yet. Let me just say that for those of you that didn't know. On his victory, Punk stated that he wanted to come out to the ring and clear things up. He said that he heard some saying that he stole the World Heavyweight Championship from Jeff Hardy. Punk didn't see it that way at all, and he even said that no one saw it like that when Edge lost the title to him last year. The fans booed him as Punk explained that when he won Money in the Bank, he put his body on the line. The world champion stated that it wasn't a popular thing to do, but he doesn't follow whatever's popular. He hoisted the title in the air and he said that this means the world to him. The fans continued to cheer him as Jeff Hardy came out, and the boos suddenly turned into cheers. Man, Jeff Hardy was unstoppable at this point. The only person who could stop him here was unfortunately Jeff Hardy. Selling his injuries from Extreme Rules, the charismatic Enigma grabbed a mic and he said that he didn't come out here to complain because that wasn't his style. He and the fans didn't think Punk earned the title. Hardy went up to Punk and he told him that he cashed in on the wrong guy. The champ then tried to defend himself, stating that he wasn't the one who put Hardy in the ladder match. He just simply made up his mind and decided to cash in that night. Hardy wasn't having it, and he sensed that Punk was selfish. He then demanded his rematch for tonight.
I had that same Jeff Hardy necklace. I'm being so serious. That same necklace, and I had the armbands too. I told you, I was a Jeff Hardy guy. That just brought back memories I didn't even know I had.
Obviously he didn't get it because Edge came out and got involved. Once the Rated R superstar entered the ring, he claimed that Hardy got lucky at Extreme Rules, and he even took a jab at him, saying that he had the shortest title reign. He then shifted his focus to...
Don't quote me, I'm unsure, but this would have been a great triple threat match. Prime Jeff Hardy versus entering the prime CM Punk versus pretty much prime Edge. This was after the Edge heads, after the Vicky Guerrero stuff. Banger, banger, banger.
Punk, and he even claimed that Punk wanted to be him. The champ laughed it off while Edge mentioned that Punk's lifestyle is called straight edge. You know, keyword straight edge. He also mentioned Punk cashing in the briefcase twice, just like him. Edge at this point was firing on all cylinders, but then Hardy went after him and Punk. He hit both the Twist of Fate and the Swanton Bomb on Punk. Since Edge and Hardy demanded a title shot,
You going one-on-one with the Undertaker, player. Tonight in the main event of SmackDown,
Teddy Long came out and he booked a #1 contenders match between Edge and Jeff Hardy. Near the end of that match, Edge shoved Jeff Hardy right into CM Punk, and Punk obviously didn't like this and he went straight after Edge, which caused the DQ loss for Jeff. Once Hardy realized this, he went straight after Punk, but that wouldn't end well for him as CM Punk ended up hitting the GTS on him. Due to this miss, Teddy Long booked Punk in a match against both Edge and Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight Championship. That match was set for that week's Raw, which was a special episode. Right before the match, CM Punk was interviewed by Josh Matthews. Matt Hardy then interrupted the interview and he greeted Punk. He praised the champ for cashing in the briefcase and he even said that if he was in the same situation, he'd do the exact same thing. Punk told him that he never won the Money in the Bank or the title to be in that situation. Punk then
you never won the title or the Money in the Bank, so don't even compare yourself. You can't compare when you can't compete.
said that they're not friends and he does everything the old-fashioned way by earning it. Damn, Punk was so damn blunt with him. Now, about that title match, Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton on Edge, but Punk, who was on one leg, shoved Jeff into the steel steps and it covered Edge to retain the title. Eventually,
I guess the match did happen. I have no recollection of it. I know what I'm gonna do when I'm done filming.
Jeff got his title match against Punk at the Bash. On the final SmackDown before the Bash, Vince McMahon told him that he doesn't want him as champion. I just mentioned this because this was one of the only interactions that Jeff Hardy had with Vince McMahon. During their match at the Bash, Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb on CM Punk and it looked like he won the match, but Punk's foot was under the rope. Once the match was restarted, Punk made it seem like his eye was hurt when he suddenly kicked the referee. The referee disqualified him due to this, and Punk was still acting like he was blind, like he couldn't see anything. He thought that was Jeff Hardy. After the match, Jeff confronted Punk about this and he ended up throwing some rights on him. Hardy at this
I remember this match. I was highly upset. That ref, 99% sure his name is Scott Armstrong. He was always in predicaments like this, so when you seen him in a match, you knew some stupid shit was gonna happen.
point was irate. He was straight up lied to and he didn't win the title because his opponent decided to just kick the referee. On the July 3rd, 2009 episode of SmackDown, CM Punk came out to the ring and he addressed the controversy surrounding his title match at the Bash.
Is it bad quality or is it just me?
Punk said that he was sick and tired of hearing people say that he purposefully struck an official to get himself disqualified. He also claimed that he was almost robbed because the ref almost didn't see his foot under the ropes. He also said that his eye was damaged from Hardy's elbow. Punk then claimed that he is a man of honor and he doesn't take shortcuts inside or outside the ring. The world champion continued to defend himself and he even demanded an apology from Jeff Hardy. This led to Teddy Long coming out in the SmackDown GM.
You going one-on-one with the Undertaker in the main event of SmackDown, player. Holla, holla, holla.
Said that Punk was right. They had a memorable match. But since it didn't have a proper ending, Long booked a rematch between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy at Night of Champions. Jeff Hardy then came out and he didn't want to hear Punk's excuses anymore. He once again accused Punk of deliberately getting himself disqualified. He even said that he could see right through Punk. The champ didn't really care what Hardy had to say. The only thing he wanted to hear from Hardy's mouth was, "I'm sorry." Jeff did apologize for something, but not for what happened at the Bash. Instead, he apologized for what he's gonna do to Punk at Night of Champions. They were about to fight, but Teddy Long prevented them from doing so. Then CM Punk managed to cool things down by mentioning that they need to focus on their tag match later that night. But then he all of a sudden told Hardy that he should have just said no. I don't need to explain this. You already know what Punk was implying. The two ended up losing the tag match after Edge speared Punk, who was unaware of the Rated R Superstar being the legal man. After the match, Jeff mocked Punk's eye injury, acting like he was hurt too, and even pulled one on Punk by refusing to accept the tag during the match so he could sell the eye injury. The following week, Hardy came out wearing
Elite level troll. Elite level troll.
an eye patch, taking a jab at CM Punk. He then faced Kane in a matchup, and that matchup didn't end well for Hardy as CM.
Kane was on demon time back then. Actually, this is 09. Kane was alright, but he would.
Punk came out.
You
He
know.
stood on the stage and he distracted Jeff long enough for Kane to hit the choke slam for the victory. Later that night, CM Punk cut a promo on Hardy, who was at ringside. He mentioned the
Speaking of Kane though, this is when WWE had like actual monsters, bro. On one roster, you had Kane, Big Show, The Great Khali, freaking Mike Knox, Mark Henry, Big Daddy V. Shit was crazy.
eye injury and how Jeff accused him of making it up. He then pulled out some prescription eye drops, and he mentioned that he has to apply that 3 times a day. He also said that the only way you could obtain this is with a prescription from a doctor. He then took a jab at Hardy, saying that he is unaware of the fact that you must go to a doctor to legally obtain some. Punk then told Hardy that he should live a straight edge lifestyle. He also mentioned that Hardy has 2 wellness policy strikes while he has 0. He also
Imagine it though, knowing you're like a fuck up and you're a drug addict, and then they poke at it on TV every week. I wonder how that feels.
mentioned that he's never been to a rehab facility, and Punk ended the promo saying that Hardy has 0 chances of beating him at Night of Champions. On the July 24th episode of SmackDown, Hardy responded to Punk's comments. Hardy said that Punk tries to mention his mistakes as if he's hiding from them. He admitted that he was suspended twice, and he also stated that he hasn't failed a test in a year. CM Punk interrupted once again. CM Punk said,
How the turntables.
that Hardy not failing a test isn't an accomplishment. The charismatic Enigma was tired of hearing all of this week after week. Punk then called Hardy a screw-up since childhood. Hardy answered this by calling Punk his guidance counselor. Once again, the World Heavyweight Champion mentioned Hardy's past. He once again called himself straight edge. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never have. And the straight edge savior said that when Hardy loses to him, then he's gonna fall back to his vices. Hardy replied saying that he's not as perfect as Punk. CM Punk then called Hardy a statistic, and Jeff knocked him down after hearing that. Punk
Getting called a statistic is crazy, but I can't lie, I be calling people statistics. Cause some people are just statistics. Try not to be a statistic. Try not to be a statistic, okay?
was pissed, but he managed to keep his composure because he was set to face John Morrison. Basically, Punk disliked Hardy's influence on the WWE Universe. He didn't like that in-the-moment lifestyle. He absolutely despised it. John Morrison ended up beating CM Punk for the 2nd time. After the match, John Morrison offered a handshake to Punk, but he ended up refusing. He instead walked away. The next week, Hardy came out and he said that he was sick of Punk coming out and preaching his lifestyle to everyone. Hardy continued saying that after Night of Champions, the preaching will be over and everyone in the WWE Universe will be living in the moment. Later that night, CM Punk came out and he challenged the WWE Universe to see things his way. He wanted them to learn to just say no.
Get Outplayed and say hello to your free creepy pet.
Oh my
Outplayed auto
gosh.
records every build, farm, speedrun.
Punk added that Jeff
Minecraft
Hardy's
ass
fans
hat.
are slaves to the vices. The champ said that it's extremely difficult to be himself, and he said that it's even more difficult to live the life that the fans live. Punk said that he was confident that no one in the arena is aware of the long-term consequences of alcohol in their liver. He then mentioned that it's disgusting to see someone smoke and pollute their lungs. Punk then added that it's unlikely that any of the fans will ever stop, and that he's here to challenge everyone to say no to their temptation.
He was low-key clocking that shit though. Cause when you're really straight edge, you can talk your shit and you can really mean it. So he probably really felt like that.
No to their vices, and to learn how to control themselves. All of a sudden, Jeff Hardy interrupted this. Like, he was fed up with this stuff. Like, CM Punk's coming out and bragging about his lifestyle, saying that, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? The charismatic Enigma told Punk that he's got a lot of nerve to come out here and say this stuff. Hardy even told Punk that he forgot how to be human, because Punk's acting like he's all perfect and stuff. Like, people make mistakes. The world champion replied saying that these people say that they could change. Like, he had confidence in the audience, thinking that they could change. He even said that he doesn't want to be in the same ring
People can change. Some people are just resilient not to.
as Hardy. Like, that's how
Is that the right word?
disgusted he was. He ended the promo saying that he's gonna do what Hardy should have done, and that's just say no. Punk was becoming more offensive as the weeks go on. Like, slowly, he adds something each week. At the end of the night, CM Punk had the upper hand going into the pay-per-view by hitting the GTS on Jeff Hardy. At Night of Champions, CM Punk defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Jeff Hardy. The two main evented the show over a triple threat WWE title match between Randy Orton, John Cena, and Triple H. So, they basically had the most momentum out
WWE was doing mad triple threat matches back then. He just said Randy Orton, Triple H, and John Cena. Then you had Jeff Hardy, Triple H, Edge. Vince loved triple threat matches in this era.
Of any feud on the pay-per-view. Now, the match...
And the roster was stacked, so they could do it, and they were bangers 99% of the time, so I'm not complaining.
Well, I haven't watched it in a while. I enjoyed it. I don't remember the exact reason why it was good, but I just remember liking it at the time. Near the end of the match, CM Punk hit the GTS and he went for the cover. Jeff Hardy ended up kicking out and the fans were going crazy.
I'm like 99% sure too, before this match, CM Punk, or at the beginning of the show, CM Punk came out and cut a promo, because I remember that gear, and he was just going off on the crowd, going off on Jeff Hardy, talking about how he hit straight edge and how Jeff Hardy's not going to beat him. It got me so hyped. It got me so hyped, because all I wanted was for Jeff Hardy to beat him.
Punk tried to pin him again, but he still kicked out. Punk decided, screw this, I'm out. He grabbed his title and he walked away. Jeff Hardy noticed this and he knocked down Punk and he threw him right back into the ring. Hardy laid some rights and then he hit the twist of fate on him. Jeff Hardy then went up to the top rope to hit that swanton bomb and Jeff Hardy was champ again. There it was. Jeff Hardy was a two-time World Heavyweight Champion. Hardy's title reign started off with a match against the Friday Night Light John Morrison. Morrison at this point was a fan favorite and he was like one of the MVPs of SmackDown at this point, along with Y2J and Rey Mysterio, because those three were all over the place.
Yeah, SmackDown was stacked, bro. This is WWE's all-around best roster. I mean, now it's pretty good, it's pretty freaking great, but back then, the star power, the names you had, he just said Y2J, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio, all on the same roster. You would get weekly bangers, weekly. It didn't matter who was there.
Anyways, Hardy...
Even MVP too, I'm gonna give MVP credit, because MVP, he was valuable back then.
And Morrison had an epic encounter, and during the match, it seemed like there was a small chance of Morrison winning the gold. Obviously,
Finley, I could go on forever.
That didn't happen since Hardy retained the title. Right after the matchup, CM Punk decided to come out and congratulate the charismatic Enigma. Punk suddenly raised Hardy's hand as Hardy himself was confused. CM Punk then grabbed a mic and he said something, but then he suddenly whacked Hardy with it. And there it was.
You could just hear the noises. You know when you hit someone inside the head with a mic, it's like, clunk. Shit's always funny to me.
Official heel turn of CM Punk. It's been brewing up slowly, and this was when it reached its breaking point. Punk continued his assault on Hardy, and he slammed him on barricades, and he delivered several strikes. After walking away, Punk decided to continue the attack again. He threw Jeff onto the announce table, and the former champ then grabbed a mic, and he asked everyone to tune into SmackDown next week, cause that's when he's gonna take back his World Heavyweight Championship. The fans booed Punk as SmackDown went off the year. The following week, CM Punk came out to the ring proud of his actions. The fans jeered Punk as he explained that he tried so hard to empathize with the audience's weaknesses. Punk showed a replay of his actions last week, and once the clip ended, Punk said that every single one of these fans are just like Jeff Hardy. Punk added that none of the fans have the strength to be straight edge. The fans continued booing as Punk said that the fans boo because they can't handle the truth. Punk even said that he doesn't do drug abuse and he doesn't smoke. He called everyone who does this stuff stupid. Punk then said that it's sad that the fans cheer this stuff.
He really was standing on this shit the whole time. This was like half of his character for the beginning parts of his career in WWE. He went on to get the Straight Edge Society. He feuded with Chris Jericho. This was years past. About being straight edge. He poured a freaking beer bottle over Chris Jericho. This was really his shit, and he was talking it. And this is really the beginning of it.
He even spoke about weed saying it's against the law, and since everyone in the crowd does that, at least that's what Punk claimed, they are criminals. Punk shifted his focus to alcohol, stating that if anyone takes even one drink, then they are an alcoholic. Punk continued his promo, stating that the fans need a straight edge world champion to lead this brand, and in his words, they needed CM Punk. I guess the title match was next. Jeff Hardy then came out, and once again, everyone in the crowd went nuts. There was something special with Jeff Hardy in 2009. I'll get to that soon. Right now, let's talk about the matchup. Hardy ran straight up to Punk, and the match didn't even begin. They were fighting one another, and this led to Teddy Long coming out. Mr. McMahon then came out, and he told Teddy Long that he was on probation, and he ridiculed him because he couldn't
no more one-on-one with the Undertaker, player.
Control all of this mess. Vince then decided to have a guest enforcer in that match.
No chance. That is what you got.
so everything's in control. Just as he was about to announce who it was, he decided to let everyone wait till later on. Right after the announcement, Hardy ran up to Punk and they had to be separated once again. Later that night, Jeff Hardy defended the gold against CM Punk. Once the special enforcer came out, it was revealed to be Matt Hardy. You know, the same person that turned on his own brother.
Bro was down bad at this point. Golly.
The same guy who still has an issue with his brother. Jeff Hardy walked onto the ring disappointed. He went right up to his brother, who couldn't even look him in the eye. Like, he was looking sideways. He couldn't even look at him. At this point, it looked like CM Punk was on the brink of regaining the world title, because Matt Hardy was going to screw his brother over again. Near the end of the match, Punk managed to evade the swanton by blocking it with his knees. Punk then went for the cover, but Matt Hardy pulled the ref from out the ring. Punk shouted at Matt, but then Jeff rolled him up and Matt counted the fall, so he didn't screw Jeff over. He screwed Punk. Matt walked away and CM Punk decided to assault Jeff Hardy after the match. He slammed his head on the announce table and he whacked him with a steel chair. CM Punk then put the chair on Hardy's neck and he shoved him right into the steel post. As the former champ walked away, a stretcher was brought out and Jeff Hardy was loaded onto it. Teddy Long then came out and he asked Punk if he's real proud of what he's done. Punk was proud of what he did, but he demanded a rematch. Like, it's all good. I liked what I did, but I want a rematch. Teddy Long said that if Jeff Hardy's able to compete at SummerSlam, then the match is set, but it will be on Jeff's terms, which means it'll be a TLC match. The fans chanted TLC while Punk was fuming at the fact that Teddy ran down to check on Jeff. He wasn't really that.
If you see me adjusting my headphones this whole video, they're still broken. I managed to tape them up, but this side is just...
pissed at the announcement. He didn't really like it that much, but he wasn't pissed off at it. On the August 14th episode of SmackDown, CM Punk cut a promo. He said that Teddy is wrong in thinking that the ladder match is Jeff's specialty. It's his. Punk bragged about how he's won 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches in a row. The fans booed and Punk said that he shouldn't waste his time helping the audience because they were slaves of Jeff Hardy and his in-the-moment propaganda. And if anything, if he mentions Jeff Hardy, then the fans will cheer him. Punk then spoke about alcohol once again, and he said that he has to end Jeff Hardy. Punk said that he didn't need outside enforcers or anything like that. He then claimed that he heard Jeff isn't even gonna make it to SummerSlam. This led to Teddy Long coming out to the ring. The SmackDown GM said that what Punk did last week was deplorable. He then announced Jeff Hardy will be here tonight, and Hardy assured him that he will be at SummerSlam too. He then booked Punk in a matchup against John Morrison. Once the former champ heard this, he called Teddy Long a Jeff Hardy suck-up. He continued speaking, but then Jeff Hardy interrupted. The World Heavyweight Champion walked slowly to the ring.
Aura. This dude was the definition of aura at these moments. It's so crazy how he fucked it up for himself. You were your own worst enemy.
He wasn't really in the moment. Hardy was still feeling the effects of the previous week when Punk put a steel chair on his neck and he rammed him into the steel post. Jeff Hardy said that despite being hurt, he's still here, and he shouted to Punk, "In your face." Hardy said that he will endure the pain, but he'll still defend the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Punk later that night beat John Morrison. Now, Hardy was unable to compete, right? Well, Mr. McMahon demanded Teddy Long book Jeff Hardy in a handicap match against the Hart Dynasty despite being unable to compete. Now, one thing I took away from this is the fact
The Hart Dynasty used to be tough. Tyson Kidd, and what was his name? David. His name was David. I can't remember his last name. David Murphy, something. I should remember it. Tyson Kidd had that fucked up hairstyle, but they were entertaining. I had their action figures.
that Teddy Long has his own theme song as his ringtone. The Hart Dynasty destroyed Jeff Hardy later that night, and right after the match, CM Punk sprinted down to the ring to get a piece of the champ. He delivered some vicious strikes and elbows to Jeff, but then John Morrison tried to make the save. He failed to do so as Punk blasted him with a chair. CM Punk then put a chair on Hardy's neck, looking to shatter it, but then Matt Hardy ran down and went after Punk. This led to a brawl between the Hart Dynasty and John Morrison, and it ended with Matt Hardy being the only one standing in the ring. He then walked up to his brother who was in pain, and Jeff was trying to avoid him as he thought he was going to assault him. Matt then grabbed his brother and he helped him up. Well, it looked like the Hardys were back. Teddy Long then booked a 6-man tag team match between the Hart Dynasty and CM Punk versus the Hardys and John Morrison.
Vince McMahon was on his hater shit, bro. Why can't you let Jeff thrive? Watch. Teddy Long was trying to be cool too, but Vince McMahon, no.
Morrison. Each team stared at one another to end the show. On the final SmackDown before his TLC encounter at SummerSlam, Jeff Hardy came onto the ring and he announced that he was at peace with his brother. He mentioned that the Hardys made the TLC match famous, and despite the doctor saying in his best interest he shouldn't compete at SummerSlam, Hardy said that he isn't one that follows doctor's orders and he doesn't plan on starting now. He then climbed the ladder and he sat on top of it. Hardy said that the space between the top of the ladder and the ground is his. He added that it's gonna take a lot more than a chair to take him down. CM Punk then decided to interrupt once again. Punk asked Jeff if he was nervous because he was so high up the ladder.
Can you believe these aren't his real teeth? Aspen Dental's implant dentures are custom and
He then claimed Hardy was drunk and he claimed everyone in the arena was under the influence. Punk once again ridiculed Hardy's in-the-moment lifestyle, and Punk didn't know what was more pathetic, the fans hanging on Hardy's every word or the fact that Hardy is addicted to the fans' support and adulation. Punk then said that everyone believes Hardy's gonna beat him at SummerSlam, including Teddy Long. He then told Hardy that the TLC match will be his last match. The Straight Edge Savior said that when he wins at SummerSlam, he'll prove that Straight Edge is the right way. You know, Straight Edge means I'm better than you. He even said that. Punk wanted to get rid of Hardy because of his influence. He wanted to teach everyone how to just say no. He didn't want everyone to live in the moment like Hardy. He wanted everyone to live in his reality. CM Punk then said that he will hurt and remove Hardy from SummerSlam, and Jeff replied to this saying that Punk couldn't destroy him. Hardy chants intensified as the charismatic Enigma claimed that he will still prove that he's better than him in his specialty, tables, ladders, and chairs. Punk then said that Hardy needs the fans so he could justify his reckless behavior and vice versa. The fans need Hardy to justify their reckless behavior. Punk then added that Hardy thinks he could fly, to which Hardy replied he knows he could fly. Punk then pushed Hardy off the ladder, and this would come back to bite Punk as Hardy hit a twist of fate on him. That tag team match ended with Matt Hardy pinning CM Punk with the help of Jeff Hardy. At SummerSlam, Jeff Hardy defended.
This match was a banger. You had Jeff Hardy swanton bombing off the top of a ladder through the announce table.
The World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk in a TLC match. The match itself was an epic encounter. Hardy was like going all out. He hit the swanton off a ladder onto Punk, who was on the announce table, but CM Punk in the end managed to win the match. As Punk was celebrating, the lights went out and the Undertaker returned. He chokeslammed Punk to end.
That was really crazy, because if you watched that match, you would know. Punk was standing there, belt in the middle of his hands, middle of the ring. Then all of a sudden the lights go out and the Undertaker is in between his legs. Hey yo. But that was a crazy visual, and then he stuck his head up.
In the show, and the way the match ended, you'd think the feud was over because Punk made good on his promise to get rid of Hardy, and the Undertaker showed up, but it wasn't the end. On the August 28, 2009 episode of SmackDown, CM Punk bragged about being victorious at SummerSlam. He said that he feels so alive in this moment and that no one in the audience feels this way because they take shortcuts. Punk said that he still feels the pain from SummerSlam, but it's the pain that makes him feel so alive. He took a jab at the audience saying that he didn't need to take anything to feel this way. Punk did mention the fact that the Undertaker returned, but then he shifted his focus back to Hardy, stating that it's unfair that he has to defend his title against Hardy in a steel cage match. He claimed that the higher-ups were terrified of him. Punk proclaimed himself a role model that the world needs. The Straight Edge champion added that Straight Edge means he's better than all of these people and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy interrupted this. Once again, everyone cheered Hardy. That's how it always was. Jeff said that he hopes Punk enjoyed his title reign as a Straight Edge champion because it's gonna end tonight. Jeff then said that Punk thinks the most important words are just say no. Punk then said that Hardy is intoxicated, and he asked him how intoxicated was he. At this point, Punk was sick and tired of the fans booing him. He was sick and tired of hearing the fans cheer Hardy. Like, he was fed up. Punk then said that one of them don't belong here. He then challenged Hardy to a loser leaves WWE steel cage match. If Punk loses,
why would you accept this?
He's gone. If Hardy loses, then he's gone, which means Straight Edge is better than him. Hardy accepted the challenge and the match was set. Near the end of the match, both men fought on top of the steel cage, but Punk ended up poking Hardy in the eye and he pushed him off the cage and back into the ring. Punk then fell off the top of the cage to retain the title, which meant that Jeff Hardy was gone.
I remember this so vividly in my head, man. So vividly.
After Punk left, the fans chanted "Thank you, Jeff," and some were crying. That's how much Hardy meant to them. Jeff apologized to everyone if he let them down. He said that it's been one hell of a ride, and
You did. You let us down, Jeff. You let yourself down. You were on top of the world.
thanked everyone. Hardy said that this isn't goodbye forever, but goodbye for now. I love how he was a man of his word, come to think of it, WrestleMania 33. Hardy then walked up to the top of the ramp and everyone applauded him, but then CM Punk whacked Hardy with the title. Punk raised the title in the air and he said that this piece of garbage is gone forever. On the September 4th episode of SmackDown, Jeff Hardy came out to the ring. Everyone was once
This shit got me so tight. So tight. So tight.
again going crazy, but then those cheers turned into boos. All of a sudden, we find out it's CM Punk. Some people were really salty at this point. They were absolutely pissed that Punk came out and mocked him. Punk managed to strike a nerve in the audience. And that's it for this feud. Now, the reason why this feud was so good is the fact that it felt realistic. It was a bit real. Punk was everything Jeff Hardy wasn't. Jeff Hardy was everything Punk wasn't. He had this in-the-moment lifestyle, and he took chances and everything, while Punk was the straight-edge guy who didn't drink and didn't smoke. It was such an awesome feud. Now, I feel like this feud didn't really have a proper ending. I feel like they should have faced off at WrestleMania 26, and that's what I feel like was the plan. I feel like Jeff Hardy was going to return at WrestleMania 26, and he was set to face Punk. Like, the straight-edge society versus Jeff Hardy. That would have been awesome. And plus, imagine if Jeff Hardy did return, but in 2011 as a heel against CM Punk. Like, either way, it would have been an awesome continuation of the feud. And that's it for this video. Jeff Hardy, like, his demons got the best of him, unfortunately. And if only he stayed. Like, he should have stayed. At least he went to TNA and he had a good run there. And that's it for this video. Make sure you hit a GTS on the like button and perhaps a Swanton Bomb on the subscribe.
He said Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. That would have been banger. That would have been... I would have remembered that. I would have still talked about it. That would have been 3 straight WrestleMania classics from CM Punk. And Jeff Hardy, he was at the peak of his career, bro. Who knows what could have happened? Shit pisses me off. I'm still sad over the fact that Jeff Hardy lost that cage match. This rivalry is one that will be in my memory forever. Forever. This period of WWE, like I said, it is my favorite, my most, I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but I could talk about it forever. Forever. So if you liked it, let me know down below. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Thank you for tapping in. My name is Don. I see you. I do.